that it's to the vote.
Can you even vote, bro? You're a convict.
I think that you're compensating for your short man syndrome by wearing those Louis Vuitton glasses.
You're third grade reading level and you're talking, bro.
Bro, can you even stand up and still be taller than the chair?
You're weak,
we can do whatever,
Stand
bro.
up then, bro.
Bro, it is what it is.
You okay?
Wait. Wait, I hope. Yo, hold on. Wait, what?
Carlos Reyes on the humble show. Yeah. Yeah, we all in. So grab your boys now, cause you know we all win. Lift your hands up and give them praise. I'm blessed every day, full of grace.
Hey, it's the All In Podcast. I am your host, Carlos Reyes. To my right, I got the most interesting man in the industry, Mr. Zady. And he's not wearing his leather pants today, ladies and gentlemen. To my center here, I got my business partner in the solar industry, Mr. Phil LeConte. To my left, I got Mr. Garret Jors. And to my other left, I got Mr. Adrian Salgado, a.k.a. Born Closer. Gentlemen, welcome back.
Welcome
Listeners, viewers, welcome back. We want to
back.
give you a great show today. This podcast just continues to get better and better, doesn't it?
Every time. Amazing. So much value.
I don't even care if anybody watches it at this point. I'm watching it. You know? Like I've already watched it a few times.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah,
Right?
We got some
Right?
views from me too.
Yeah.
And our guys, man, our media team, I love what's going on with our media team. I think they're going to be the best media team in the country
For sure.
when it comes to the business/entrepreneur space.
Top tier in the world.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. And I believe that that's going to happen because of, well, two reasons. One, yes, they are highly skilled, some of the best. But two, man, they're just passionate about what they do.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? They're just passionate about what they do. So, man, this is, big credit to everybody that has been watching this podcast, listening to this podcast, making this podcast what it is today, right? Making it happen. So shout out to everybody that is working on this show every single day. Now, gentlemen, let's start with Mr. Trump.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right? The Supreme Court voted that Trump cannot be kicked off the ballots.
Unanimous decision.
9-0.
9-0. Yeah.
9-0. I was a little concerned about that. I was a little concerned when that challenge initially came up.
Right.
Right?
Who was the first city? Or who was the first?
Colorado,
state?
I believe. Was it Colorado? Might have been Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah.
I was a little concerned because I'm like, wait a minute. Are they just governing themselves? If they do this, then that's going to be a ripple effect or a domino effect across the country. Like, we don't like this. Not just for Trump, but in general, right?
Sure.
If a state doesn't like what you have to say or who you are, they're just gonna be like, yeah, he's not even getting on the ballot.
Disgusting.
That wouldn't have been a good thing for America, and the freedom of America.
Yeah.
Right? The Constitution. What makes America America? I don't think that would have went very well. And the last time that somebody actually attempted that was with Abraham Lincoln.
Yep.
And I think
Started
the
the Civil War.
Started,
The
right?
Civil War kicked off. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, do we really want to go down there? Because we're not fighting with muskets anymore, right?
No.
I think
So-
we do. I think all signs point to yes. We do want that to happen.
Wait, you want a civil war? to happen?
Not me personally, but I think all signs in today's society,
Like somebody wants a civil
pointing
war.
in that
It's
direction.
it's so funny. Do you see how they say MAGA and make MAGA sound like it's some gang when it just means make America great again? And if you're somebody in this country, who doesn't want this country to be great? The one that you live in, the one that you reside in, the one
Our
that's protecting
kids are
you.
here.
Our future is here.
Yeah.
What do you guys think that it does to the vote, though? Like, what do you guys think overall that it's going to do to the
Can
vote?
you even vote, bro? You're a convict.
Bro, he's been so
Whoa,
feisty.
dude, hold on, bro. What?
I think that you're compensating for your short man syndrome by wearing those Louis Vuitton
Bro,
glasses.
You're third grade fucking reading level and you're talking, bro.
Bro, can
Whoa,
you
what's going
even
on?
Bro, can you even stand up and still be taller than the chair?
I'll
or
stand up to you, bro.
I mean,
Doesn't
let's-
matter.
it-
Let's
it
go
doesn't
face
matter.
to chest, you
Bro, it
weak
is what
ass
it
shit.
is.
Face
like
to chest?
Yeah, you're weak,
we
bro.
we can do whatever,
Stand
bro.
up then, bro.
Bro, it is what it
Touch
is.
you. You okay?
Whoa, what?
What do you want to do?
Dude, you want to go right now or?
Relax. It's all good.
It's all good. It ain't nothing, bro.
Wait.
Stop.
Wait, I hope. Yo, hold on. Wait, what?
Stop.
Yo, y'all better be. This better be staged or something.
Nah, bro.
It's not a fucking stage.
No, this is not happening.
This is fucking
No,
crazy,
fellas.
bro. This guy's talking way too much shit, bro.
Nah, he's been starting all day since I got here. He's been going off about this.
Because you fucking acting like you're on
You want-
Adderall, bro.
Okay, and if I am,
Then why is that
Wait,
cool? How is that
hey,
cool?
Gentlemen. Okay, it's all love here. Like, this is not about you
I
guys.
don't see that.
No,
Bro.
no.
I haven't felt it all day.
Okay,
I don't see that at all.
Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Carlos. Happy birthday to you. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. You can wear the Louis. Oh, that was amazing. Yeah. So what if I am?
Are we restarting the podcast? Bro, yo, you can pray for you, bro. I saw Phil's.
I didn't want to give it away.
Phil was licking his lips like he was like his belly was going.
I told you he was gonna look at you.
Face the chest. Yeah. I almost lost it on that one, bro.
Yo, thank God. Thank you guys. Love
Thank you guys.
Love you. Thank you so much.
God, I love stirring it up.
Amazing.
God.
Amazing. Wait, is this gonna be part of the podcast?
Yes.
absolutely, it is.
Absolutely, brother.
Happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday.
Happy early birthday.
You guys are
Now,
animals.
yeah.
You guys are animals.
Yeah. Back to Trump, baby.
Let's get back.
Trump.
Oh.
Oh my God, you guys scared the shit out of me, bro. I'm like, this is not happening right now.
The fact that he got up and came over like made it that much better.
Because I was like, yo, are you guys serious right now? You thought it was you too. You were in it too.
When did you start believing it? Wait, when did you start believing it? Because you thought it was a joke at the beginning.
At what
when
point?
you guys
at
got
what
up?
point- Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, you know, they're just making it fun.
No, you know,
I think it
knew,
escalated very quickly.
I knew,
thought it
I
was
knew
gonna
that I
lose
had to
this.
get up.
Yeah.
I had to get up, and then we had to stir it up.
That made it realistic. Yeah.
Yeah. That was beautiful. Happy
I was
birthday,
like, why
brother.
isn't Phil stopping this?
Feels like I've seen this movie play out.
Yeah, the short guy doesn't win.
Hey,
Did you like the Louis Vuitton for the short man complex?
It was like David versus Goliath.
I was like, I gotta cook
I was
over
wondering.
here.
I was wondering how you were going to transition into it.
Oh my God. All right, can we
had
get
a
back
code
to
word.
this?
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Okay.
Okay,
I was like,
okay.
I'm in.
You got me.
Colorado.
You
Trump.
guys all got me. All right, you guys all got me. All right. Wow.
Oh man.
Colorado
That
Trump.
was like the worst / best birthday surprise ever.
Good. You deserve
Okay.
it.
yeah.
That was very creative.
You deserve it.
It's all
Thank
Matt.
you. Thank you.
It's all
Man,
Matt.
I love everybody that came down to make that happen. That was amazing. That
was great.
Okay. Back to Trump.
Yeah.
He's back on the ballot, right? And now with the 9-0 vote from the Supreme Justices, right? There's no other state that's even going to try it at this point.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I love about that situation. And you know, this is what I will say about judges, Supreme Justices specifically. You can't just be anyone and be a Supreme Justice, right? Like you be one of the Supreme Justices. You got to be one of the most just resound individuals, individuals with discernment,
Yeah.
you know, wisdom, experience. You got to be top, like the top of the top, the cream de la crop, right?
Yeah.
The cream de la creme to be one of those justices. And that's why, you know, I will say this. When that vote came through, for me, what it did for me was it almost reinstated like hope for our legal system and our democracy.
Sure. Is it safe to say that society, like, I have almost given up hope, right? To think that something like that.
I mean, you see what's going on.
It's gonna
What were we
happen.
talking about the other day, right? Pelosi and
Yeah.
and the stock trading, and then Biden. What's his name? The Biden dude. The oh my god, I can't believe
Hunter.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Jesus, how do I brain fart? Hunter Biden and everything that he has going on. He gets away with like slaps on the wrist and stuff like that, right? So you're like, okay, well, I guess at a certain level, you just can get away with just about anything, right?
I think today was a win for the superheroes, right? Like the fact that we're watching Trump get attacked over and over, and at the end of the day, people who weren't for Trump are only for him because enough is enough, right? At a certain point, someone gets so many lashes that you can only take so much. So the fact that he got this win just shows that in the system, because I got involved in politics, there are people who are fighting for us, but we can't see them because no one goes and says, hey, you see that firefighter that was in the building, damn near risking his life to save that child? We don't talk about these things. And there are people inside of systems who are the firefighters.
Before you do that, I just want to say this. For anybody out there that's listening or watching and they're like, why are they talking about politics? Well, let me explain a few reasons why, okay? One, politics and business and real estate go hand in hand in hand. That's one. Two, our children have to grow up here.
Yep.
Right. And constantly, my wife is constantly concerned about the state of this country because we have 2 daughters that are growing up here. Right. That's why we're talking about these issues. These are relevant, impactful issues. Your normal Joe Schmo probably thinks that he's not impacted by who gets into office. But once those laws start coming out, right, with the bathrooms and all the other stuff, that it's a little too late by then.
Yeah.
It's already done, right? And we get 8 years, or actually 4 years of what we've gotten,
Well, they've been methodically programmed to not think about it, right? They've been
most people don't even vote, right?
correct. And there was a study came out that said majority of the 2020 voters that voted for Biden now say that they would not re-vote for Biden because he is too old and lacks competency.
Well, his approval rate is the lowest of any.
They're artificial.
American,
You have some
sitting
statistics
American
on that, don't you?
Yeah,
They're
his
artificial.
approval rate is the lowest of any sitting president in the history of America.
Not surprised.
So
I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to see Alzheimer's, to see any mental disorders. I don't think that if a kid saw their parents and saw Biden, the way he walks, the way he speaks, the way he carries himself,
it's ridiculous.
that they wouldn't say, oh, I think he's going through something, mommy, daddy. I don't think he's fit to lead the weight of a country.
My 11-year-old
I've-
knows,
My-
Yeah.
Like, last thing I'll say here, and then you got to go because you got some good stuff to add here, Adrian. I mean, they'll like the world will be on fire, and he'll be like, where's the ice cream?
Yeah.
You guys know I love ice cream. Like, dude, what?
Does it remind you of
Like,
the
somebody
Ringer?
just got bombed.
It reminds you of the Ringer scene. When the fuck did we get ice
It-
cream?
it's honestly surreal at this point, right? It's surreal. It's surreal and it's concerning. It's concerning.
it's
That's a
super
good word
concerning.
because it is. We're joking about it, but that's literally what he does.
would have never-
They're
yeah.
asking him about what's going on in Palestine and
Or
Israel
Ukraine,
conflict, and he's eating ice
and
cream.
he's like, "Well, you guys
Chocolate,
know I love
chocolate
ice
chip.
cream." Or he's sniffing some 13-year-old little girl. Like he's like, "Come on, you guys have seen."
Oh,
the
I've seen it.
video,
No, it's
right?
disgusting.
Alex Jones
He
says
just-
that in the White House, they have to change his diaper.
oh my god,
Secret Service has to change his diaper.
But no,
that's not
What?
valid source.
That's not
No.
fact, right? That's not fact.
Alex Jones has stated from inside sources, so this is hearsay. I could be completely
it's
wrong,
not-
but
okay.
what they're saying
Right.
inside the White House is
Good
that
disclaimer there.
they're changing his diapers because he's walking through the White House, blindlessly running into things, tripping over, and this is a grown daycare at this point.
I've had my grandmother had Alzheimer's, and she lived probably like a half block away from my parents' house. And my grandma, she's now 95, still lives by herself.
Yeah.
And I was over there one morning, and what ended up happening is I saw my grandmother with Alzheimer's leave the assisted living facility, trying to make it to my house, and walk straight past it. And when I see Sleepy Joe walk, I see the same thing. My
That's
grandma
sad.
walked right past my house, and luckily I was
That's
there,
so sad.
and I stepped outside. I said, "Grandma, where you going?" She goes, "I'm going to your house." I was like, "It's right there." Like she had already passed
Yeah.
it. But besides that, I like as we're talking about this whole Trump thing and how they reversed it, and they said now it's it's he's allowed to be on the ballots, but somebody made the attempt to take him off the ballots, right? And Zady said it in the last podcast. They're both wings of the same bird. What's to say that happened? It didn't snowball the way they wanted it to, where all the states got behind taking Trump off of it. So they reversed it, and now they tried to bring an uprising from that side of the party, who is a little bit less reserved. Like you would say, Republicans are a little bit more conscious and not quick to just jump. And we saw the.
Are you talking about someone replacing Trump as the leading candidate?
No, not replacing Trump as the leading candidate, but what we said
to cause an uproar.
To cause an uproar on the other side, because they didn't get the uproar on our side. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's a super valid point, because we need, for them right now, they need as much chaos as possible, and they need as much distraction. If you actually look at it too, for Nikki Haley, when it comes going against Trump, people would actually rather go straight to RFK instead of Nikki Haley on the Republican vote if they're not going to vote for Trump. And Trump supporters are some of the most loyal voters out there.
I would love a woman as a vice president. I just don't know if it's Nikki Haley, because there's a lot of allegedly there's a lot of backdoor business deals that are happening in her camp, right? But I would love Nikki Haley. I mean, if Nikki Haley was very, very rare do you get politicians that have their nose clean, right? Because you know how it's a favor system,
Correct.
Yeah.
I do you this favor, you do me that favor. I rub your back, you rub my back, right? But I would love to see a woman vice president.
I would love.
Right?
To
Don't
see
get me wrong. I know there's one already.
Yeah, just not one we like.
But
I would
in my
love it.
opinion, she's just not qualified, and I don't think she's really had an impact on this country.
It would be
And
nice
I
to get
expected a
It
woman.
would be nice to
have
get
it.
an actual African American female vice president. Not a Jamaican Irish.
I wish Candace Owens was a
Indian.
politician.
That's.
Oh, if Candace Owens,
I wish Candace Owens was a politician.
if Candace Owens was in there, oh my goodness, she would shake it up.
Candace Owens makes common sense, common practice. She
Wow,
breaks
that was-
it down to simplicity. Now, there's one analogy that I have, and it's going to be broken down into third grade level. The elitism was programmed into our kids in the movie Ants. I know we've all seen the movie Ants with the grasshoppers, where the ants have to collect the food, the grasshoppers come and take it. If you watch the movie, they're directing it towards kids and programming them, because Hopper, the main elite grasshopper, tells the ants have the food ready by the X date. Hopper's cousin says, "Hey, look, we're abundant. Look, we have all the money, all the tools." And then he says, "We don't need to go fight the ants." Well, guess what? Hopper then says, "Oh, we don't." He walks down to the lair with all the other grasshoppers. He says, "Hey guys, we're not going to go attack the ants. We're going to stay here." They all are happy. They're drinking away. He says, "But guess what?" He gets a little acorn, throws it at one grasshopper. "That's just one ant. How did that feel?" He says, "Like nothing." Gets another one, throws it again. "How about that?" He's like, "Oh, it's nothing." Then he breaks the cork. The food comes down, kills the 3 grasshoppers right in front of him. He walks on top and said, "Guys, if the ants find out by numbers they are more powerful than the 30 of us, we're done." So Trump, to me, is an elite grasshopper fighting for the ants.
That's a great analogy. To jump on the Supreme Court decision. So it's key to understand. They didn't say like, "Oh, he's not an insurrectionist." All they said is the states don't have the power to take someone off the ballot, and then they directed the power to Congress. So 3 of the justices, the liberals and the moderates, were against that, because now what's going to happen is they've given that power to Congress. So again, left wing, right wing. Eventually, Congress could decide we don't want them on the ballot, or Congress could decide the states now have the power. So I think in the future we're gonna have a lot more problems because of this ruling. Honestly, they didn't like close it out. They kind of left
an open door. Yeah.
Well, shifting into another subject is the immigration laws that we're trying to put into effect, right? Specifically, SB 1231, Senate Bill 1231, which allows state and local police officers to arrest illegal immigrants on the spot. I was here in Arizona back when SB 1070 went down in 2010. That one was pretty bad.
Our whole school left. Like, I remember our whole districts walked out because we were out in El Mirage.
Well-
and obviously, you know, it's mainly Hispanics over
Yeah.
there.
Well, imagine this, right? So that bill was people were getting pulled over left and right because of
What was that
based
bill?
off suspicion.
Correct. What was
That's
it?
different than this one.
Yeah.
This is hey, we know you're here illegally, and we can arrest you. SB 1070 was that was ridiculous, right? Oh, I think you look Zady. What's your background? Armenian?
Vato, what you think?
No, you're not.
Hey, but
You're right. You're Armenian. You're Armenian, right? You look like
you
a
look
you look like a
suspect,
little
Persian
cholo.
Armenian. Yeah.
You look like a little cholo.
You look suspect.
What's up? Is it?
You're Armenian?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
That's powerful.
But if you have dark hair, and I'm like, okay, well, you look like you're.
If they profiled you.
Yeah. Right.
That's what
Yeah.
that's what was happening a
Yeah.
lot, right? So anyway, what do you guys think of this SB 1231, allowing state and local police to be able to arrest illegal immigrants?
I think there's a couple things. I think if you're a rancher in southern Arizona, southern California, southern Texas, and you already probably barter individuals into your ranch to work and they go back home. But I think that right now with the unknown of people crossing, we don't know who's really crossing. And you have a ranch where you provide jobs for people and to keep them safe. How would you like if somebody intruded into your home, into your family while you're cooking and cleaning and some random person is in your backyard? What would you do? And I think that's just common sense for any individual, whether it's today's society or former societies, is how do you protect your people? And there's different perspectives on that.
So Border Patrol arrests, right, just through Mexico, by the way, in December, recorded 249,785 Border Patrol arrests in just 1 month.
Wow.
That was up 31% versus November, the previous month, 191,112. Right. So let me just say this, okay? When it comes to immigration, some stunning statistics, right? These are shocking. You know how America always thinks that, because I have Republican family and stuff like that, and they're constantly like, those illegals, they'll break the law. They're criminals, right? They always categorize illegals or illegal immigrants with criminals. Yes,
Yeah.
very often, right?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Watch this. There are 13 million undocumented immigrants, according to the Washington Post, right now in America. And guess what? Illegal immigrants are less likely to break the law than citizens.
Because they don't want to get deported. They're
Right?
scared. Yeah.
It gets even a little deeper. The illegal immigrant homicide conviction rate is 14% below that of Native Americans in the country. Watch this. Legal immigrants, legal migrants, right?
Yeah.
They have a 62% lower homicide rate versus illegal immigrants. And illegal immigrants already have a 14% homicide rate, which is even below one of the smallest classes, right?
For sure.
Of Americans. What's your feedback on something like that, where you categorize illegal immigration with criminals, and the data says absolutely not.
I think that whenever you have to work for something and you have to come to the country, because most people are coming to the country for a better opportunity, right? And from what I've seen, the people that actually come over here, we could use you as an example. We use your mother as an example. Your mother came over here and she was super hardworking. She gave everything she could so that you guys could have the life that you needed. You also went to work at a very young age, right? And so I've seen this over and over again because I've done masonry work, I've done landscaping, steel work, and a lot of the places I worked at, we had undocumented illegal immigrants, right? And they were some of the kindest people I ever worked with. They were some of the most hardworking people. But if you look at it from a macro scale, what I think is really happening is there's a loyalty that will be formed for whoever lets them into the country, right? And so for all of these people, they're not looking at it from our political system, because let's be honest, they've been so engulfed in their own problems in their own country that they're only focused on getting here and creating a better life. That whoever gives them that opportunity for a better life, they're going to vote for that party.
Well,
it just makes sense. So long term, that's what I think the play is.
Well, not only that, but we by the way, immigrants, right? And I say we because I was an immigrant. I'm a citizen now, but we constantly live in fear.
Sure.
We constantly live in fear. You're right. We don't want to break the law.
Yeah.
We don't want to even get caught driving.
Sure.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Scary.
Let alone shoot somebody or rob somebody. You know, we don't want to get caught driving.
For sure.
Many of us, and I speak for, I would say a majority of immigrants, we want to come to this country. If there was a legal way to come to this country, we would do it. But the fact of the matter is two things are working against us. One, we don't have the money to start the immigration process, number one. It's thousands and thousands and thousands.
Well, it's a lot. It's a
Right?
hefty process.
It's not free.
Yeah, and then I would say number two, we don't have the right immigration system. You know, so immigration as a whole, or the Department of Homeland Security now, they approve depending on which country you're from, right? There's a structure, in my opinion, that's broken. They'll approve a very small percentage of this country, right? But they'll approve a high percentage of this country. They will allow X amount of cases to be processed per year, and it's clearly a broken system, because there's a way that you can actually take the problem and use it to your advantage. And I'll give you an example. When my mother got her immigration paperwork, her legalization as a legal alien at that time, she got it through working the fields. She got it through amnesty.
Yeah.
What jobs are immigrants working that your common American doesn't want to work and will never work? The fields. Out in the fields is one. The restaurant business, right? The cooks and the dishwashers, and you know, we literally are part of America's infrastructure.
Even in the trades, right? Because so many people are entitled in America when it comes to tradesman work nowadays, that you'll find a lot of the youth are not going into these trades, right? So even if we look at it long term, who's going to be working these trades jobs in the future? Is because we know less and less American youth are going into that. So we're leaving. We're complaining about jobs. We're complaining about this, but yet our youth are not even taking the jobs that the illegal immigrants are wanting to work.
Specifically labor, right?
Like, specifically labor.
Can you imagine Matt on top of a roof putting together some shingles, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just not going to happen.
We'd have to get the safety guy out there.
Can you imagine Matt? Can you imagine Matt coming over to my house and like
Fixing your fan?
Hey, it's 6 a.m, Carlos. I'm going to go ahead and mow your lawn. Is that okay? Not going to happen.
Not gonna happen. No.
My landscaper, it's filled with immigrants. Now, I haven't, checked if they're legal or not. I think that's the owner, right?
Yeah.
But
We'll let him worry about it.
But guess what? Sunday, this dude gave me a ride for whatever reason, and what did you say about my front grass?
It's the greenest in the yard. It's the
I got the
greenest
best
in the
grass on the
neighborhood.
block.
Yeah.
I got the best grass on the block.
I got a
Shout out
point
Felipe.
to
Shout out
what
Felipe, the
Garret,
landscaper.
what Garret said. You're talking about loyalty. What's insane to me is if you look at it statistically, if you look at Trump and Obama, let's just say stereotypical Republican Democrat, Obama sent more migrants back to their original
Yes,
country.
he did.
Deported more
Yes.
people than Trump. But you'll never hear anyone say anything like that. The
It
news
doesn't-
won't even talk about
It doesn't fit the agenda, right?
It's insane.
Well, first off, right, in order to kind of rectify the problem, you have to take control of the borders.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
I don't think we have the manpower.
So, this is why some of these new bills are trying to be passed. You know, the fact that, what is it, here in Arizona, they're trying to pass a bill that
1231 or which one?
No, the bill that people can actually start, shooting at immigrants.
That's insane.
Hey, that's a real bill.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw SB 1231, but there's a bill where you can.
They're trying
to
to
pass a bill.
trying to
Yeah,
pass
they're
immigrants?
trying to pass. That's what I was saying earlier. Like they're trying to pass it. So when I read it, there's a court case going on in Arizona next month where a rancher in South Arizona, they found a dead body on his property, and they right now he could be incarcerated or charged for first-degree murder. But he said that he fires off a signal, and he said that he's pleading not guilty. But to go back to hardworking Hispanics, and my parents are from Haiti, so I went to the DR at least 5 or 6 times. The Haitians work like the Mexicans here in the United States.
Shout out to the Haitians.
Shout out to the shout out to the Zos. So down there in the DR, for the construction, they don't use machinery. They have a trolley where somebody at the bottom is moving the wheelbarrow with the cement, putting it in the bucket, and then somebody's trolling it to the top, and they don't get paid money. They get paid a place to sleep and a plate to eat. So when you come to this country and now the exchange of currency isn't a place to sleep and food, and it's something that you can put in your hand that's tangible, now your work ethic is at a different level. And when you've seen this over and over again, there are Haitians that are here right now that in Miami, because Hispanics, Haitians, that run Miami because they come with that work ethic. They may not have been the smartest, but their work ethic has taken them to that exponential graph of creating businesses, of creating things that most Americans that live here can't do.
And they're way more loyal employees as well.
Absolutely.
Because just the fact that they are getting better resources, like if you actually take care of somebody that's undocumented and they're working for you, they have an undying loyalty to you when you take care of them. So it's just the work ethic. We know that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't want to work, right? And so in America, we might have all this talent, but very few people want to work nowadays. So yeah,
but go back to the source. It's not the kids. We got to go back to the source.
Oh, it's the parents.
There are so many parents that wanted the best for their kid. The boomer generation wanted the best for their kids, so they gave them everything. When you give somebody everything, they have nothing. So there are kids who are born into high net worth homes who don't have a purpose to fight for. They didn't get to cross the border twice like you did. They didn't have immigrant parents that worked hard. My mom worked in a warehouse for 21 years, retired with barely any money, but she had 2 sons who support her and love her through this journey. Now, most people in the American ways they're not built to take care of their parents, to take the Trojan horse and take the lead in the family. They just want to either send their parents to what's a booming industry, the homes for the retirement homes now is a booming industry, because now kids are like, hey, parents, inflation, I can't really take care of you. You actually didn't breed me to take you into my home, and we only have a 3-bedroom and bills are high.
I never understood that concept. Like in my family, like we wouldn't be caught dead sending our elderly to a home.
It's a Western
we keep
civilization.
We keep them.
type
We
thing.
take care of them. It's like you wipe my diaper when I'm a kid. I'll wipe yours.
I take care of my mama right now. You know that. I take care of everything.
It's literally
crazy.
Western
I
civilization.
will never put her in a resting home.
Like
Why?
United States has so many ass backwards things, like also kicking your kids out right when they're 18.
Stupid.
It makes zero sense, but we've been indoctrinated in this way where the kid should be out right when he's 18. He's a man. It's like, I don't know about you, but I feel like I just barely became a man over the last year, and I'm 29.
Smoking cigars now.
Yeah,
Your
I'm a
balls
real
just
man.
dropped, right? Like,
For sure. Well, when
Stepping up to
Zady
midgets,
made him drop right now.
and it dropped right on his head.
You guys just watched it.
But
Garret
also
Jors just became a man
in
on
other
this podcast.
countries, if we were all brothers, we say, okay, Zady's doing well, Los is doing well, and maybe we're struggling. Well, guess what? We all live together. We all share one rent. We have a big enough house to put our family
We're
into.
stacking.
If you have a Lamborghini, if you have a Lamborghini, we all use the Lamborghini.
Well,
right?
hold on, bro. Hold on.
No.
All right, it only fits 2, bro. Let's relax.
Well, that's why we got to alternate. we got to have big calendar. We
Monday,
got the big
you
calendar.
got it. Tuesday, I got it.
Yeah.
I will say the foreigners have some of the best ingenuity I've ever seen.
Yeah, Mexicans make up tools. My buddy who works as a carpenter, he says when he works with Mexicans, they find stuff that you can't fit anything in. They'll make a tool and then make it work.
I did it this weekend.
Right?
I was changing my spark
calm
plugs.
down.
And I couldn't get it out.
So wait, if Mexicans are so good at doing work, how come you never do your own shit? Like you can't even change your own fans, bro.
That's complicated.
You gotta call Adrian. Adrian, help me,
So
bro.
I was blessed. I'm one of
you've
those
been there?
Mexicans, right? I'm one of those Mexicans. Like I worked labor jobs growing up. Mm-hmm. The first jobs I ever had were just nothing but labor jobs. right?
What was the hardest labor job you did?
Good question.
Probably construction.
What were you doing? Just digging a hole?
Wheelbarrow. No. Wheelbarrow cleaning up after everybody. And you know the insulation? That was so itchy. Like every time I would put it in I'm like, like, you know, it feels like glass almost, right?
Yeah, the shards.
It is.
That was tough.
At least you got paid to do that. My
That was
dad
tough.
used to just make me do it.
You guys want to hear a beautiful
Adrian unlocked
story?
a PTSD moment.
So when I was in my teenage years, my mom, we worked through a temp agency, right? Mm-hmm. And one thing that I will forever, I've worked with my mom, bro.
Wow.
On two different occasions. Who can sit here and say I've worked with my mom? You've worked with your mom? By the way, in a real job, not like.
Well, so Airbnbs, so as I started to build it, we would work together to clean it. But I'm saying
bro.
like
my mom and I
wiping
were,
toilets
like,
and shit.
We were on, bro. You guys ever
You're
heard
saying
of?
in a temp
You guys ever heard?
agency,
We
you
were
got
in a
placed
temp
at the-
agency. You guys
Him
ever
and
heard
his
of the
mom. Mom, let's go pick up our paychecks.
Yo, you guys ever heard of
Yeah,
the?
yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
ever heard of the Dow Corporation? The
Yeah, I
the
did got me
soaps?
2 jobs at
Yeah.
one point.
The soaps, right?
Oh,
The
yeah.
soap and the shampoo. My mom were on the line. We were on the production line, boxing up soaps for months.
Oh yeah, that's different.
You see what I'm saying? My mom and I worked at the airport. She was a dishwasher, and I was what you call back setup. You know those little carts, those little carts that you put all the alcohol in, you put the food in, right?
Yep.
Like I was working back setup in my teenage years. You know, so that again, I've had my fair share of labor jobs. Right now, I wasn't landscaping or plumbing. And then I realized that God had given me a gift of a pretty creative mind, and I would say I'm a pretty good communicator, right? What goes in here and here goes well. It comes out well here, and then once I started to see that, I started to get into sales. You know, that's where I started cutting my teeth. I started cutting my teeth as a professional in sales and customer service.
So once you got into that, you said,
I was like,
I'm not gonna work with my. I tell this to Phil all the time, my brother, everyone, because they're like, why won't you just hang up your TV? I'm like, because I'll just pay someone $50 to hang up my TV. And that might be a little bougie, but I also worked extremely hard industries when I came home. I would work 12 hours, 6 days a week. I worked at steel factories. I worked at a masonry shop. Like everything we did was extremely hard work. So when I got into sales and I started making real money, I was like, I'm never working with my hands ever again.
You already put in the work, right? I
Correct.
think it's important that everybody learns manual labor.
I've been doing manual labor since I was
Look,
12 years old.
But most manual labor jobs, right? You didn't qualify because there's a height limit to most of those jobs.
He barely
I could
qualifies for
cut
castles and
grass, bro.
coasters.
Like you were the guy we sent in through the air vents, right? Like, hey,
Yeah, because I could
grew a
fit. No, 'cause
flashlight,
I actually, no, I
Grab
did
his
that.
fire and run.
Hey,
Run down that air vent.
Zady's wife tattooed, you got to be this tall to ride this ride, and she made sure to put it down here. So
He looks like the kids we saw in the mine. Garret made one day his son was just being very needy. So we sat him down and made him watch kids in Indonesia climb through mines about Zady's height through mines, and they said there's a
kids.
mile into the tunnel. They said that every day they could die, but they have to bring back these tokens to their family to pay these bills. So
for hours,
for
we
hours,
made him watch.
Yeah, we made
what
him watch
about
it.
the lithium mines, right? That everybody's talking about.
Because but Americans need to see what's going on across the world. Going back into, we're going to talk about leadership and family. We're lacking leadership because of how soft everyone is.
I'm old school. I'll
Right.
take my son. I was like, you're not going to watch a single lick of television. We're going outside. I'm going to make you dig a hole.
Right.
And then when you're done digging it, I'm going to make you fill it back up.
Adrian's good with his hands. I will say that.
They're very small.
They're small.
But
He has like the
very-
Donald Trump hands.
Carlos is like, that's how all my TVs got hung up. That's
No,
how
really. Like him and my father-in-law Joe, they do all the labor stuff that needs to be done. There's two things I
Changing
do
light
at the
bulbs.
house.
That's the best brother.
Yeah,
The
brother-in-law.
brother
Well, why
that
do you think
just-
I'm always giving
yeah.
him Cubans and stuff?
And what's funny is
I work for cigars.
it's
man.
like my brother knows too, because he's like, well, how come you haven't hung it up? I'm like, because I just want you to come hang it up.
Well, you know how much, by the way, do you know how much backlash I get in my own family because I will not mow my own lawn, clean my own pool, pick up my own dog's shit.
Brother, you're a delegator, right? Like you this is not meant for your hands.
I think honestly, I think
That's what Elon Musk is, right? He's a delegator. He doesn't do all this stuff.
Well,
He
once
just says, you're good at
you're a
this,
master
go do that.
I think
debater.
in your situation, Los, it's important for you not to do that. So your daughters grow up seeing you not do that.
Yeah.
I think it's really
They don't.
important.
They
in
could
your
know
situation,
that,
you know.
Like for me, like
I'd
I
rather
can't.
smoke a Cuban cigar in the backyard and have my father-in-law come over and pick up my 2 Rottweilers in the back, their dog shit. And I'll pay him. I pay him a good amount of money per month.
Yeah, actually, I tried to take the job at one point. 'cause
Yeah,
you were
he
paying
tried
him
to take
very
his
well.
job. I pay him very well
like, I
for
could
just
use
picking
that
up dog
extra cheddar.
shit.
Try to
Now,
get-
but now I've created another
job.
another source of income for my father-in-law. Right?
Well,
Without giving
how
him
much
money. Right,
how
you're
much
just-
money
he's
do you
earning-
make
he's
an
earning.
hour? And if you can make more money in that hour, then you should be mowing the lawn and doing all those things. Then why are you mowing the lawn?
I understand where you're coming from, but I disagree with that.
Absolutely.
And the reason
well,
for
you
that-
haven't reached
well,
master delegation yet.
Yeah, well, no, it's because at some point, all you're gonna have is just you and nobody. If it comes down, the shit hits the fan, and you have to do shit for yourself, and your family's there.
What?
Are you gonna know how
we're
to
gonna
change
die.
a battery? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's my thought process.
Okay, but changing a battery and tires is different. Like if shit hits the fan, we're not gonna be like, "Damn, we got to mow the grass this week."
Or put up the TV.
we have to survive.
Hey, I have to
We're gonna
dig
be
this
loading up
booby
our
trap.
guns.
Bro,
I
you're
have to dig
using
this
a
booby
Andy
trap.
Elliott analogy, right? Where if your family's life was dependent on it, you would sell. And take You're going way.
I would
too
dig a
crazy with
trench.
that.
I would start digging trenches. I would start digging booby traps.
If we're
Yeah,
in
we
if we're in an
will.
apocalypse, I'm gonna make sure my grass looks the best.
Yeah, but look for people who are master
pool has to be
delegators, right?
clean.
If you're a master delegator, like for instance, when I moved to Arizona, I did not take my trash out of my apartment for 2 years. I paid somebody who I paid handsomely for to do that for me because I was gone. So I
Well,
got
you are a handsome man, so I
Thank you,
expect
brother.
everything that you do.
Thank you.
It's handsomely.
It's handsomely. So when I got to Arizona, the trash was piling. Hannah was like, "Hey, it's the man's job to take out the trash," and I'm thinking in my head like, "Damn, I don't have that was delegated." So now it's stacking up, and even when I lived with Garrett, I didn't take out the trash. I wasn't I lost that programming.
I do take out
delegated
the
that.
trash, though. You want to know why? Turns my wife on.
Well, I take out the trash. I knew better than to ask Phil to take out the trash because I knew he had a programming in his mind. So I was like, I can sit here and try to convince Phil that it's a good idea to take the trash out when it's Phil, or I could just take it out and not deal with that.
we were in the living room watching Suits together, right? Season 6 now. And she goes, "Hey babe, don't forget to take out the trash tomorrow at 6 a.m." I said, "Babe, don't worry about it. I got it." She's like, "Okay, go to the room."
Oh, done.
I'm like, shit, how many more trash? Who's out? Like, does your mom
I'm gonna go
get
take
her
the neighbor's
taken
trash out.
I changed spark plugs and I.
You got trash in your car?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, I'm about to
Okay.
go do an engine swap.
That gets me.
I was like, "What are you working on?" "Ah, bro, I'm just changing out my transmission." All
I
right.
get a third kid.
But okay, I love where this is headed. You know, a lot of people don't understand. You know, time is money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time is money, and as you continue to evolve and grow, you know, I'm like, dude, I don't have a lot of time. I'd rather smoke a Cuban in my backyard, get creative, think of an idea. You were there in Sal's office today. Mm-hmm. I came in with the whole flow chart for him for lead capture, right? Mm-hmm. You know, for one of our businesses, and I'd rather do that. I'd rather pay somebody, you know, whatever it is, so that I can do what needs to be done at a grand scale, you know. But let's go back real quick to the immigration situation, right? Based just on immigration alone, the country has Joe Biden's approval rate when it comes to immigration is 27% right now as we speak, and it takes us to our next subject, which is leadership. There are a lot of people in this country right now that are pissed off when it comes to leadership. Would you guys agree?
For sure.
Well, a lot of people.
Democrat and Republican. Mm-hmm. They're pissed.
Well, there was a lot of people that, once again, delegated that leadership in the household to our leader in the free world.
Yeah.
And they were disappointed. Right?
Yeah.
It didn't turn out the way he wanted it to be.
Well, and back to what you said, Phil, if you're delegating someone changing out your diapers in the White House, you probably shouldn't be in a leadership position
No.
at this point. You know what I mean?
Did you hear about what happened with the school system in California with the Armenians, actually? So the school system was pissed off because of the books and what they were instilling in the kids in the school. So the parents had an uproar, right? But guess what? Let's say you're the police and I'm your next door neighbor who's going to go and protest for our kids. Well, I go to protest and now you have to stop me from protecting your kids and the indoctrination of the system.
You're called a terrorist.
So how is that fair that parents want to unite? They have to go to work. They have to provide. Inflation's high, and they can't go into the school system. But when they have the chance to put aside their time to go out there and march for the kids, you have parents who are the policemen or women fighting against their own kids. This system is backwards.
Because it starts at the top.
Sort
It
of.
starts at the top. Our leadership isn't. Our leadership, we're not making good choices.
But you make
at the top.
You make change from local.
Who's at the top?
Local people, not president.
You know who's at the top.
Like if the president could
What
be
family?
The president could be whoever the president could be left or right, doesn't matter. Who's the head of the school board? Who got elected, mayor of that city? That's who really controls our environments. If we just keep on choosing great leaders for president, senator, whatever, let's just say we do, and you got somebody on the school board who just doesn't
But
have a kid,
it won't go that way because you know what?
They're not gonna.
There's
they're
a
not gonna allow
ripple
that
effect.
shit.
You guys know that. Just like in our businesses, right? Our businesses are a reflection and an extension of the leader.
Yes.
Yeah.
From work ethic to core values and principles and punctuality and reliability and standards and expectations, right?
Correct.
Even to the close we
Even to the close.
Okay, so if the leader is the one delegating, and if the leader wants the children, kids, students to be submissive, then what type of leader do we have in the
dominatrix.
system, right?
dominatrix.
I think that
Balenciaga
when you look
model.
at the best leaders throughout history, they were all frontline leaders, and right now we have no frontline leaders. And if you're an American family right now and you're concerned with where we're at with the country, which you should absolutely be concerned, especially if you have children, but what are you doing at home, in your own home, to resemble personal excellence, making sure that these kids have the right standards, the right values, the right beliefs, because no president, no corporation, nobody is coming to save us. Right. It takes people speaking freely like we are right now. And it also takes people waking up. Right. One thing that you said earlier that's super important to not kind of brush under the rug is the last time this happened, as far as a president being taken off the ballots, was Abraham Lincoln, and a civil war happened, right? So if we're not careful, what's going to happen is we're going to start waking up the people that just wanted to be Americans. They wanted to be free. They wanted their kids to have a good age.
The silent majority?
The silent majority. The ones that nobody hears about, the ones that just have their guns ready to go. And those people are willing to fight and die for America.
They're already prepping us for it.
Well,
They continuously prep us, and we just talked about this outside, me and Phil, after watching that Joe Rogan podcast with Cat Williams, right?
Great podcast.
He talks about everything that they do. It's all programming. It's all programming. The fact that it has an entertainment value to it, that's just a sprinkle. That's just the cherry on top.
Yeah.
There's movies that have come out. There's books that we've read. All of this stuff is programming. The stuff that the kids are learning in school, it's all programming them for future, just sit down, be still, obey, right?
See,
but propaganda is everywhere.
Carlos said it in the comments. Subconscious programming. It's not the conscious. You go into the subconscious, where people have no clue that the subconscious runs 95% of your programming. So if the commercials that they play,
actually like retarded,
it's retarded.
Yeah.
Your subconscious is the ocean of your thoughts.
Isn't it like, the way that we operate every day, isn't it like 95% for most people?
Correct.
95%.
Yeah,
So
right.
what's happening in the commercial? There's a book about commercials. We can only see so much with our conscious eyes. Behind the commercial, they can signal and put different symbols and things that are addictive
And
to the
sounds
conscious.
yeah, exactly.
Words,
808s.
words.
But they're not even doing that anymore.
Right?
They're simply just showing us. Like I said, there's a movie coming out this month called Civil War.
yeah.
Civil War.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
That movie that just came out, Leave the World Behind.
Well, 'cause it
And all of a sudden,
desensitizes you.
we just
What's it called?
we just
Hypnotic rhythm.
randomly lost
Hypnotic rhythm.
cell signal for a couple of hours. Was it a test pilot? Like, these things are happening.
All these movies have been coming out about war. right?
What's the
And
best
people
way
are
to-
starting to bubble up.
What's the best way to control people? You divide them, right? Divide and conquer. So if you got race to divide people, you got gender to divide people, you got Republican, Democrat, they keep dividing us, so no one can unite together and stand up and say, "Hey, we got a problem. Why do we have geriatrics in our government?
But they're
Like, we
not-
need to have young people that understand everything. Why do we have wealthy people running for president when they have zero Trump, whatever?
Yeah.
They don't understand what the common person goes through. I don't care what president you throw there. They
If
don't
there
understand.
if there was a civil war, I would use you as a human shield.
Bro, the bullets would fly right over me and you'd be dead. So that's not good.
Wait, you
No,
want
he
me
would
to
pick
die?
you up. He would
Insane.
put a strap on you.
Yeah, we'd strap
and
your
hold
back.
I
you
would
to
use
the
you as
guard.
a vest.
You guys,
I would use you.
No
as-
strap on, bro.
This is even
No
more.
strap
But this
on,
is
bro.
even more powerful. Just imagine YouTube is
So the
the
kinkies into
access to the information. So if you're a kid who's 9, 10, which they are smart, they watch YouTube, and you're watching this podcast, you're getting this information, you're realizing that your parents are running blind. You have the ability to see. Now it's messing with the direction of you as a young adolescent. Right now, kids are being exposed to all this knowledge, and now they're like, "What do I do?" Right, the ones who are conscious, right? Because you're gonna wake up if you watch this podcast.
Because kids are also being exposed to Coco Melon. You know how that's going in the Mickey
yeah.
Mouse Club.
I had to stop my son the other day.
Disney World.
I had to stop my son the other day. 8 years old. I walked into his room, and I'm listening to what he's watching, and I'm like, "What are you watching?" He goes, "Oh, I'm watching police arrest videos." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm starting to look at it, and it's the body cams of people of the cops
Like, do
coming.
you wanna get arrested?
And I was like, bro, watch something else. Watch wide receiver highlights.
Watch
or
the
something
Taylor
like that.
Swift documentary.
I said, watch some wide receivers highlights.
whoa. Let's not make him a Swiftie at the
But
age
yeah.
of 8. So something that my wife brought up that was pretty powerful the other day. She goes, "Hey, babe, we're pouring into our children, and we're doing, we're teaching them all the things that we weren't taught. We're trying to make them conscious individuals, conscious little beings, right, at the age of 11 and 5. But what about all the Americans that choose to also, right, program their kids the right way,
Yes.
and they still send them to school? And what happens to that programming at school?
Gets reprogrammed.
You-
Aha.
So that's why
Uh-huh.
when my kid comes home, and I don't care what anybody
You have to
thinks about this.
deprogram him?
Well, we homeschooled him for a while, right? So I said if he goes to school, one thing I will not do is I will not do homework with him at home. You know why? Because what happens is the school system wants to not only send them to school for 8 hours, but then they want you to do the homework that should have been done at school. And what does that do? That takes away from family time that you should be spending with your
playtime,
children.
outside time.
Playtime.
Active
And
time.
so
Yeah.
now you've spent 8 hours at the school. Then you probably work as well. You had dinner, and now we got to go do homework. Like, no, I'm not doing your job for you. When you come home, we're going to talk about what we believe in here.
You want to hear
That's
something?
what they delegate, bro. Teachers are delegating parents to be the teacher.
You want to hear something cool about my 5-year-old though? Her Montessori school does not give her homework, so I think that's
is
cool.
dope.
It's a Montessori
That's
school.
super.
Those are great schools.
That is super cool. So, and again, it just reflects back to the leadership that's in place. Would you guys agree?
Absolutely.
lack of.
Right. So how do we
Lack
begin
of.
to fix the problem?
We start with ourselves. We start with our community, number one, and the people that say they care. One thing that I have a problem with is I have a problem with a lot of parents right now because they say they care about their kids, but they're not willing to live in excellence, right? They're not willing to sacrifice their own selfish needs in order for them to live at the highest standard for their children. So if you truly cared about the community, you truly care about the future of our children, well, it starts with us, right? It starts with us right here on this podcast saying, hey, we're going to come together. We're going to make sure that if our children believe the same things, we're going to make sure we have more time together, right? We're not going to go with the riffraff and be in places that doesn't make sense and uphold our standards. But it starts with us in our own communities. It starts with us in our own schools. It starts with us making the change and being the change so that way it inspires other people to follow suit.
I think Theodore Roosevelt said it the best. It is not the critic who counts. It is not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or how the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena.
Well, with that being said, for anybody out there that's watching or listening, I mean, my man Gary just said it starts at home.
Yeah.
It starts at home, and you don't got to look too far to prove the fact that is true based off the data, right? Obese parents have obese kids.
Yep.
Alcoholic parents eventually have alcoholic children, right? That become adults, of course, right? I mean, it's passed down from generation to generation to generation, right? So, these children, they're growing up and they're watching mom and they're watching dad, and we are, because we're all parents here. We're their first love.
Yep.
We're their first superheroes.
First mentor.
We're their first mentors. We're their first disciplinaries, right? So
Access to being a human, right?
Yeah.
We are the bridge to how to be a great human.
And this is what I'll say just to wrap up here. For everybody out there that's listening, I want to say a couple things. One, remember, right, as parents, the way you treat each other is the example you're setting for your children. When they get into relationships, right, that's how they're going to treat their significant other based off what you're saying to your significant other, what you're doing to your significant other, how you're treating them, the level of respect that you display on a daily basis, right? That's one thing, and people have to understand that. So remember, the way you treat each other as parents, the games that the adults play, the children will pay. Now, number two, okay, the best thing that you can do for your children is be a happy adult.
Yeah. 1000%.
Be a happy adult.
Yeah.
Man, if you go over to our house, right, and I'll wrap it up, our children, man, our daughters, they're happy kids.
Yeah.
Because they're around happy adults all the time.
Yep.
We're teaching them to be happy adults. So there's hope. They're like, when I'm an adult, I'm just going to be as happy as I am right now.
Just with money.
Just in a different way, right? Yep. So those are two things that I just have to tell people. Every parent out there that's listening is the way that you treat each other at home. Okay, be very conscious of that, and be a happy adult.
Yeah.
Let me piggyback off that real quick. Just one last
Before
thing
we
that I
wrap
would
up,
add
yeah.
to that is also be conscious of who your children are being educated or mentored by.
Correct.
And I told this to my son.
That's right.
He was blessed with an extremely talented individual that taught him how to break dance. Not only was he magnificent in the skill, but he was such a great mentor as well too. Gravity,
You
yeah.
can definitely say his name.
My buddy
Amazing
Gravity.
human being.
He just did an absolute phenomenal job with my son as a foundation, and I couldn't ask for anything better, honestly.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
his nickname is Gravity. Yeah, just imagine this, right? This dude, when his son, he's a great breakdancing.
Oh yeah.
Right, he's
amazing.
He's a great
Protege.
breakdancer. Well, he had one of the best in the world teaching him.
Right. Right.
Guess what I'm doing for my daughter in her basketball sessions? Coaches that have trained NBA players, professionals.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. If you have the resources to do it, do it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's all you're going to leave on this earth, right? Our children are always going to be a reflection of who we are.
Yep. Yes. Yep.
So equip them with everything they need to continue on the good fight. You know? So with that being said, we're going to wrap up. I'm just going to say, hey, listen, for everybody out there that's watching or listening, if you are enjoying this show, this is your only fee. We don't charge. Just subscribe and share. Subscribe and share. Tell somebody about this. If you're like, man, I love what they're breaking down. I love how deep they're going. This isn't your average surface level show. So go tell somebody about it and start to let them start to voluntarily evolve. Right. Well, until the next time, this has been the All In Podcast with your host, Carlos Reyes, and friends. Talk to you soon.